Hey all, welcome back to the lab. In this video, we're going to be discussing why I'm moving back to Notion from Obsidian for personal notes. So I tried switching to Obsidian as my daily driver personal knowledge management system for 6 weeks, but I've now decided to move back to Notion, and here's why. So the first reason is that Obsidian has no built-in collaboration features. I wanted to share a note with my wife comparing my work's insurance offerings, but that proved impossible via Obsidian itself. I'd have to copy-paste that to another service, whether it's Notion or Google Docs or email, and send it that way. And of course, doing this kind of loses any other edits that you have to make afterwards. You're not able to like comment and discuss on the actual thing and build up this artifact together, which kind of removes the flow. And with Notion, I can share the note directly to a given email address and only have that account view it, or I can make it public and have everyone view it. And this is just not something Obsidian supports and likely never will. I didn't think I needed this collaboration feature, and for 95% of docs I write, I don't, but for those 5% where I do, it is very, very useful. And I think when you're sharing information like this, it's just way more ergonomic and effective to have a system that allows for commenting on the doc. You know, Google Docs allows this, Confluence allows this, a lot of these doc platforms allow this, but things like email or just like uploading a doc and sharing it seems so antiquated compared to this. And so when I think of like, it's 2025, basically everything we're sharing these days is digital anyway. I feel like this is kind of just table stakes for what you want and a collaboration feature. Another big factor for me is that Obsidian handles media poorly, whether it's files, images, or otherwise. And it seems weird saying this because Obsidian is just files and media is just files, so it seems like everything should just work. But in my opinion, the way things like images are handled and embedded in docs is just subpar. And I think it makes sense. Obsidian is offloading a lot of the parsing and playback to the OS. Basically, you just put a little link to that file, and then the file's kind of stored as like an attachment in some folder that you designated in Obsidian. And then it like just kind of plops it on the page. And I don't really know what I expected out of Obsidian. Like this kind of makes sense. Yeah, I have a link to it, so you maybe want an embed for it, but I guess what I expected was more ability to configure what the preview looks like. Like, can I make it larger or smaller, or can I minimize it and then only pop it up when I need to? And if I click into the image, I should be able to like zoom in and zoom out. And there should be an easier way to like rename the file. Like it's just some random like paste thing, which isn't useful. Like I'd want to have like an actual name for this thing if it's living in my file system so I know if I can delete it or not. All of these things just seemed like so weird to me, and I don't know why it's like this. And it seems super solvable. I guess like the only issue is that it is just Markdown, and so that they'd have to change the Markdown spec on their side to get it working. But I feel like media is just almost like a second afterthought here. But again, 2025, everything's digital. We're going to be having a lot of media, a lot of screenshots, a lot of files that you want to save for later, stuff like that. And I just like didn't like it. It seemed like just an afterthought. And with Notion, I just like don't have to think about this. If I have a screenshot, I just paste it in. I can make it large, I can make it small, I can make it like not show up at all, but you can still have a link to the image. I can collapse it into something else. Like all of this is fine. You can do the same thing with a PDF or a doc, which is useful because often you're getting sent PDFs and docs, especially for things like, you know, insurance, whatever's that you want to save for later. If you have a video, you can also just pop it in there. And so I think this goes back to what I discovered when I was comparing Notion and Obsidian the first time, is that Notion just kind of works and it kind of just gets out of your way on a lot of things without customization. And so that's something that I think it wins out on here. And yeah, theoretically you do get unlimited uploads, so you don't really have to worry about it, but I wasn't too worried about storage either for Obsidian. Another factor is that Obsidian requires a lot of customization to be useful. So I previously written about this and how much tinkering Obsidian requires to even be usable. And at first this was fine, and I kind of found it fun, like building my own website. I love tinkering with my websites and my side projects and stuff to kind of make it my own. But eventually it just started to get frustrating because like eventually I just want to start taking notes and make the app itself get out of my way. And so I kind of found myself in this flow a lot where I'm like, oh, there's another thing that just doesn't quite work the way I want to. And then I go search for a workaround, and usually involves like installing a plugin and then some settings tweaks. And that usually will work and unblock me, but only on this device. And so it works on my desktop, but then some of these settings aren't getting synced over to my mobile app and laptop. And so I have to go and do the same thing over there and like install the thing, get it enabled, then tweak the settings there and get it working, which is just like, it's just a lot of faff to like get some pretty simple things working. And I'll share some of the things that I was using plugins for that I was kind of like, I can't believe I have to have a plugin for this to work this way. And that's assuming that a plugin actually exists that does that. And as part of like trying to replicate some of this stuff that I wanted from Notion or things that I thought would make it easier here, I just couldn't find plugins that like actually did the thing that I wanted. And so I'd already installed a few plugins and I already felt that my setup was getting unwieldy, and now I might need to write my own plugins to get the things that I actually wanted. And it just didn't really seem worth it for me. Like, I don't want to be a plugin maintainer. Really, I just want to get a note app that works and I like using. And so here's some examples of things that like I want from base Notion and you shouldn't have to have a plugin for. The first is like a template for new notes in a base. This is possible with Templater and other plugins, but the setup is pretty annoying. An example of what's annoying to me about this is that templates shouldn't have to live in a templates folder. Obsidian has the ability to have a templates folder, and then you can basically say like insert from templates, which is fine. And I guess that makes sense to keep things simple, but I personally like to co-locate my files in templates, because it keeps things organized. Like if I'm in my shares folder, I shouldn't have to go search for like, where are my shares templates? I should be able to have like a little shares templates folder there, and that's where the templates live, because that makes sense. But I could not find a way to do this via Obsidian's bases or any plugins. And so what I ended up doing is I just had my template there, and then I was just copying and pasting them when I wanted to start a new note, which like works, but that kind of ruins the whole idea of bases. You basically have to go to file system and then go work in the base afterwards. And then another thing I wanted is basically the ability to sync the collapse state across my devices. And this is a big deal because I use collapses all the time, because, you know, there's like a headline, and then if you want to learn more about it, you can open it up and there'd be like links or like a to-do list or something like that in there. And I'm accessing my notes regularly from 4 different devices. And so if it's not being synced across these things, then every time I open up the new note, I have to like go collapse the things again, which is annoying. I ended up installing a plugin for this called Creases, which works like kind of okay, but it doesn't remember like if it's on or off. And so you basically have to do the pull down command palette run every time, which is just like, it's just a little annoying. Like, why do I have to run this thing every single time I open a new note on one of my devices? It should just sync. I think it should just sync. And again, like, I think Notion just comes ready to go for most things out of the box, and it works across devices because it's like web and it's just works the same across all web browsers, which just means that it's less tinkering and more writing. I probably spent 10, maybe even 20 hours like tinkering with Obsidian, and that's just something that Notion doesn't require. Notion has a superior editing experience. So I think a lot of people are going to come for me for this, because I'm basically saying that like a web interface has a better editing experience than like a local first editor. But personally, I do think Notion comes out with a superior editing experience out of the box. And it does have its downsides and its slow parts in terms of like searching and loading files initially, but once they're open, they're actually rarely a bottleneck for me. And so I've kind of come around to like maybe a few seconds of slowness at the beginning, but really no issues through the main part is a small price to pay for this. And so here's a few examples of things that were like paper cuts and I didn't love. So the first is that I particularly like things like writing symbols at the beginning of a line in Notion to turn it into that thing. And so no matter where I am in Notion, if I write the star and then I put a space after it, it turns that line into a list. Similarly, if I do the brackets, it turns it into a checkbox. And then if I use this little sideways caret thing, it turns it into a dropdown. And you know, Obsidian has hotkeys for these things to turn into a checkbox or list and stuff like that. And these are like fine on desktop, but when you're using something on mobile, these little hotkey things don't really work. And so you have to like use the command palette, swipe down. And like, if you're doing this a lot, the swipe down is really kind of in the way and annoying. On Notion on mobile, this still works, which is super ergonomic and I think really helps with the editing experience. Another example is how blocks of code get indented in lists. So I personally use a lot of lists for my notes. I do like bullet notes, and that just means that I heavily use indentation instead of like headings and stuff. I just indent to say like, oh, this is part of that outer thing. And I do take a lot of notes on code, a lot of copy pasted code, and my daily work with software. And I think the format in Obsidian for code inside of lists is just atrocious. You have to basically indent the full block of code for it to be recognized as like a child of this list. And the block of code, like as it goes down, obviously there's going to be like empty lines and stuff, because code isn't just like a jumbled mess of dense characters. It will lose context of like what indent it's on. And so you have to like manually format everything to be under this for it to be recognized as a child. And so if you do this wrong, then you lose context of your full list and you can't get back to the indentation level you're on, which kind of breaks that. And also the collapsing of lists doesn't work, which again kind of breaks the idea of collapsing stuff that is useful to have, but I don't want it like readily available to me. Or I guess like in my face, you know, having to parse through it, a bunch of noise. And so I found that super annoying in my day-to-day tasks, and I like could not find a way around it. I ended up just not using lists for these things and just like jumping out of the list and maybe using like a small heading to collapse things instead of my lists. But I like my lists, so that was pretty annoying for me. And then just like really small things like copy pasting links and turning text into links. So you just have a link, you highlight text, and then you copy it and then it turns it into a link directly. These aren't built in, so I had to reach for a plugin for this. And this isn't the worst thing in the world, like Google Docs doesn't do this either, but like more and more apps are realizing that they are like, we live in a digital age, we're gonna be using a lot of links, let's make this useful. And so just have it by default. Like Confluence and Notion, they have this by default. I think this is something that should be built into Obsidian. And again, like these aren't that big of a deal on the surface, but they're all examples of paper cuts that I ran into regularly and I had to find workarounds for, whether it's a new workflow or, you know, installing and tweaking a plugin. And I think with time, I'd get used to them and then these things would be fine. But with Notion so recently on my mind, coming from them, these paper cuts really stacked up and it was like, man, it doesn't have to be this way. And so they just started weighing on me. Next is that I prefer web interfaces for knowledge work. Now this is super subjective, but I realized that I prefer notes and references to live in a web interface. An example of this that I recognize fit into this pattern is I even use Slack via web. I don't use the native app. And I think this is largely due to my workflow and how I like to organize tabs and, you know, the hotkeys that I've become accustomed to. Things like opening new tabs, searching, closing tabs, grouping tabs, everything like that. But I just find that if all of these things are in web tabs, then I can easily organize them and reorganize them into groups in Chrome. And I know that where everything is, because it follows like my general organization structure and how to get to it and how to reopen it if I close it, how to search for it, where the bookmarks are saved, like all of the above. And it just makes everything flow a lot smoother for the workflow that I like to use. And you can do similar things with desktop workspaces. And, you know, Obsidian has its own version of tabs internally and bookmarks and everything like that. And obviously you can tab through your open windows, but there's something to seeing all of my open tabs in one window and visually clicking back to them that I like. And again, I also like that my bookmarks all live in one place and my pages are often searchable just via the browser bar without first having to open the app, which I think is just, again, these like paper cut things that make it just a little bit easier for these common tasks that kind of add up to a better experience overall. With Obsidian being local first and therefore running as a native app, I found myself tabbing through both browsers and app windows just to find stuff. And this is fine, but it breaks my habit and slows me down. Like the whole idea of notes is it's like readily available and then you can be working on your stuff and then taking notes on the side. But a lot of my stuff is in Chrome and maybe this workflow is like kind of broken for this, but I basically have a Chrome window in all of my windows and then I have two in my main one. So I end up having 3 or 4 Chrome browsers across 2 to 3 screens. And so this means that there would be a Chrome browser behind Obsidian wherever it was. And so I'd be like tabbing, trying to like get Obsidian back on top and then like finding the right Chrome browser. And so it's just a mess and it kind of broke my current workflow. And I think web has its own problems, but I think it's one of the best UI technologies that we've come up with. And I love how I can move tabs around, bookmark them and see where everything is. And for me and my workflows, having information tabs up in web is a must have. That's just how I like to work. And this is something that I didn't realize before I moved to Obsidian, but like I really, really like these things in web. What I'm taking with me from Obsidian. So I don't think the 6-week experiment was a waste, and if anything, it showed me a lot of things I was both missing and taking for granted in my original Notion setup. A few things that I feel like was missing is the first that I can just use simple workflows and bases. Obsidian has a much simpler database system, which forced me to build simpler workflows, and I found that super refreshing. I was writing a lot more temporary rough docs just because it was so easy to spin up new ones and start writing. So I'm simplifying many of my Notion databases to just be simple lists with statuses. And in particular, I'm doing this for a lot of my output-based ones, so like projects and shares. I don't really need like relations and stuff like that. I don't need all these like properties. They're just not useful to me. Just a simple name with a status is great. I also realized I was missing an organization system for general knowledge. So I was largely using Notion to take notes on my projects and my life systems, but I noticed in the general PKM communities that many people are using this to help grow general knowledge. I hadn't really thought of doing that myself, although I argue that maybe my blog is something akin to that, but I think it's a cool idea. And so I built myself a simple knowledge garden that's basically a mix of the Zettelkasten and digital gardening methods. I'll be playing around with this and see how it goes and if it's useful, but I really like the idea of it. And then of course, there's a few things I was taking for granted in Notion that I started to kind of see I was missing in other things. The first is that, web means you can access knowledge anywhere, no apps required. And this means I don't need to install an app, I can access it via my browser, and any new device I'm using just has it by default. And it also means that other people can access it in similar ways, which is just a useful thing in 2025, where most everything is digital. And finally, Notion workflows are powerful. I think they are so powerful that you can easily overcomplicate things, which is what happened to a lot of my Notion setups previously. But the beauty of this is that it is super flexible for basically whatever you want to build. And so you can just uncomplicate it when you choose to. And I found that super easy to do with my current workflows. So I'm moving back to Notion, and I'm pretty happy about it. I like Obsidian, and generally I'm a fan of all these alternative note-taking apps. I think notes and writing is super important for humans, and I love to see innovation in this space. You can read more on why I write online there. I could see myself switching to some other app if a better one comes around, or Notion continues down the VC and shitification process. I don't really love that AI is everywhere and the app slowly gets slower, but that's just kind of what happens when companies get bigger. But for now, I'm happy with Notion, so that's where I'll take my notes. Now, if you like this post, you might also like why I'm moving my personal notes from Notion to Obsidian. As a software engineer, I'd also be interested in how to set up an ergonomic workstation, more productivity, less back, neck, and wrist pain. And finally, my simple daily to-do list as a software engineer: maximize productivity and minimize waste. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.